Look at that. I'm getting the on-air red sign clicking, which means we're live. How the hell are you? I'm hanging out for my weekly live Q&A. If you're new to these live Q&As, this is your opportunity to ask me whatever you want to know. Could be guitar-related, racing, TV programs, food, whatever you want to know. Just ask me. And we do these Q&As every week. I mean, it's very rare that we miss one. So anyhow, here we are for the Wednesday live Q&A. I have a couple of really rad customer builds. If you missed out on last week's live Q&A, I did have some special promos. I did 2 deals of the hour, and I did 4 tops. So I don't have anything this week. You know, we kind of did a lot last week. I figured we'd just show off a couple of builds this week. So if you're hoping we had a deal of the live, I don't have one. Of course, these beautiful guitars behind me all should be available. So if you see something back there that's really sexy and you want it, you can always call my guys if you don't see it on the website, or call them to place a custom order. Speaking of custom orders, let's kick it off with this AM7 for Bill. This beautiful trans white, black limba body, deep binding effect on this beautiful flamed trans white Aries. Looks like it's got a walnut and maple 5-piece neck on the backside. We got chrome hardware. Looks like we have the 3+4 pointed headstock. Still really cool looking on these. And just a clean looking build. This one, estimated completion date was 4/3. We finished up today, so we missed that by 9 days. Not bad. Still the fastest custom shop in the world for this type of quality. I mean, maybe there's some people making stuff that, you know, is not to our level of quality that could, you know, rival us as far as time frame. But for a world-class pro-level touring guitar, man, we're still super fast, so that's awesome. And trying to cut those build times down. But this is a beautiful one. I love the rear natural clear on this. Seeing some of that orange streaking limba in there, just absolutely gorgeous. Love the pearl offset dots. Black logo is cool on this one. I think the specs are really, really cool. Only thing I probably would have done is maybe put white pickups in it, and that's a maybe because it's got the ebony board, so I still think that looks, actually it looks like a Richlight board. That is a Richlight board, right? It's got to be Richlight, because holy shit, yeah, it is Richlight. So black pickups are not a bad thing in this. This is looking really cool. And the chrome pole pieces go really good too. So what a sexy build. The Aries Multiscale 7-string. Get your side jack on. And then we got an Osiris over here. Who is this for? This is for Terry. And we had a completion date of 4/10. Look at that, missed it by 2 days. And my favorite color, KRG. You might say, why is it called KRG? It's Kiesel Racing Green, and that is the color of my race car. And the race car has had a lot of success. It is the most winning car in SCCA history. So pretty amazing there. So awesome to be part of making history for our sport, for the type of racing we do. But back to this Osiris, beautiful 6-string, single piece maple neck, KRG with KRG inlays, black logo. It looks like and feels like stainless medium jumbos, and they are. Looks like we have 14-inch fretboard radius on there. Ebony fretboard, went for lithium neck and bridge, which is standard. Black logo, black chrome, set up with 9-gauge strings. And maybe you did not know this, but you can actually send in your own strings if you want us to set it up and tune it up in your particular tuning with your particular strings. That's something we do free of charge. So just call my guys and tell them, hey, I want it set up with my tuning with my strings, provided that is you have not already placed an order. We don't do any order changes. So if you're like, oh, I didn't know that, I'm going to just call the guys and have them change my order that's in the works. We don't do that sort of thing. Reason for that is we'd have to find the paperwork, find the tags, change the paperwork, re-invoice it. It's a tremendous amount of work. And at the end of the day, really, it is your responsibility to have all your specs correct before you call us to place the order. So those are a couple of really rad customer builds that just finished up. We'll be shipping them out. So if you do have builds in the works, I'm going to remind you guys too, we're not a bank. So make sure you are proactive on getting your builds paid for. They can actually ship up to a week early if they are prepaid. At the time of going to assemble them, what we typically do is as the guitars are coming out of buffing, bless you, the person that schedules everything will typically put a mark on there if they're prepaid, and we work on the prepaid ones first. And that's kind of counterintuitive because if you owe us money, you would think we'd want to work on the ones that are not paid to get those out. But we figure, hey, if you've already paid us, we'd rather be able to ship those. So sometimes you can ship as early as a week early if you've prepaid. That's not because we work on them any quicker as the orders go through. It's just when they get to the final setup area, it can go as much as a week early. So make sure you're proactive. I would say, typically around week 10, you should be looking to get your build, paid off, because they can be 12 weeks, they can be 20 weeks, somewhere in that time frame. So also no order changes. That's just something we just do not ever do. So please don't ask. Don't send an email. Don't say like, hey, I've bought 20 guitars from you and I want to do an order change. We treat everybody the same here. So are we having issues? No. Fixing the phone. Okay. I see Brandon walking around and I'm like, oh shit, am I talking to myself again? Because I know nobody in here is listening to me. But seriously, we won't say, oh, okay, well, this person's bought 10 guitars. We're going to treat them better than the guy that's bought one guitar. That's not cool. That's not right. We don't do that. So please don't ask us to do that because you feel special. You should, hey, you've bought 10, 20 guitars. You should know the deal better than anybody else. And you shouldn't be asking because you should want to support us and what we do. And it should give you even more reason to not ask for special treatment. Companies that I really love and support, there's some companies that I've spent a lot of money with, and you know what? I never ask for discounts. Personally, I just don't, because I want that company to do that much better, so I never ask for a discount from them. That's just how I roll. And I've had companies offer, and I say, no, I don't want a discount. It's not because, oh man, I don't need one, and like I'm mentally like, I don't need a discount, I can pay full price. It's because I want that company to get all of my money for that product, because I know what it takes to run a company, and you are at that last little bits where you make your money. So if someone's asking for a 10%, well, let's say I only make 10% on that guitar, so I'm literally not supposed to make money on the guitar at all. It's like, you don't want that. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. You want the company to do well. And so anyhow, that's just like a little like personal thing to throw out there. So, and I practice what I preach with that one. I don't ask for discounts. So anyway, on that note, what can I answer for you today? What do you want to know?
First question is from Sean. He's asking, will you ever do binding on your guitars?
So that's a great question, Sean. So I don't know if you're talking about neck binding or body binding, so I'll answer both because they're both legit questions. So neck binding, I don't see us ever doing. The reason for that is we offer so many different scale lengths, fret wire sizes, fretboard radiuses, that I think it would make it nearly impossible for us to do neck binding. So I'm erring on the side of giving you playability options over cosmetic, which is binding. And I'm not saying neck binding doesn't look cool. I can appreciate it, but I'm going to give playability options over that. As far as body binding, real body binding, we discontinued that a while ago, but you can get painted on colored binding, and you can also get natural wood body binding, which we tape it off and give you like a natural wood effect. Hopefully that answers your question, Sean.
Next question is from Mike. He's asking, what are your thoughts on the Illusionist / Empyrean pickup combo?
It's actually a really great combo. The Empyrean was made for the Thorium to match the outputs a little closer, but the Illusionist is so close to the Thorium that it's still going to pair very well with it. For those of you guys that don't know, the Empyrean is Scott Carstairs' signature neck pickup. The Thorium is our high, hot output bridge pickup. And the Illusionist is Lee McKinney from Born of Osiris. That's his signature bridge pickup. So you got a couple of really cool options there.
Hey, this is Jared Wise. I bought the Delos last week. I gave it to my buddy and he was blown away. He says he's a true believer now.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you for doing that. That's really cool. It's neat to be able to help someone out. I'm stoked for you that you're in a position in life that you could help a friend out like that and, put a guitar in their hands. So, man, hats off to you. That's really, really cool of you to do that. And I'm stoked to, have a new fan, it sounds like, in your friend.
Is Monster Burst a K-Series only finish?
No, it's not. You can get Monster Burst on any of our guitars. It needs to be over, flame top, a quilt top, poplar, and burl maple. Those are kind of the tops you can put it over. I think it looks best over flame, and it's actually our least expensive top. So, of course, no salesman in me there, just telling you straight what I think. And the reason why I say it looks best over flame is the way the colors blend and bleed between the purple and the blue. I feel flame shows it off better. They are a free color on our K series, so that's maybe where the confusion is, but you can get it on any model.
Jed is asking, 9-string headless with a trim.
Oh man, just for you call in right now and throw down. Sure, why not? No, the hardware doesn't exist. And I don't think I've ever been asked for a 9-string headless. So you're the first, Jed. Way to go.
I want to get my first Kiesel, but I can't decide between the Aries and A2. Please help.
That's a hard one. Both are great guitars and you can't go wrong, to be completely honest with you. After creating the A2, I still love the original Aries and I still think it looks amazing. But of course the A2 is new and it's catching my eye, it's catching my attention because it's so new. And I would tell people to go for the A2, of course. But the Aries is still our number one selling model, the original Aries. The original bolt-on Aries is our number one selling guitar. So you can't go wrong with either. The Aries, the original, also gives you a little more flexibility in the fact that you can go 22 fret, you can do a bevel delete, you can add a pickguard with the titanium series, or you can even go neck through, where the A2 is bolt-on, 24 fret, beveled only. We have a bass version, so that's kind of a really cool thing for bass players, and they've been doing amazing. The guitars and the basses, we've had a lot of customers that have been buying them, that have been in stock, and we're getting all positive reviews. The only I guess not drawback or negative thing we've had is guys that are really holding their guitars super low, like they're not strapped where you're playing like super technical stuff, where they're hung really low. Guys are having, but we had one guy in particular have an issue with the jack location. So my recommendation to fix that, and typically when you're playing live, you have a wireless system, but if you don't, you take that jack, plug it in, run it out over here. Here's your strap. There's your strap button right there. Run it up above your strap cord, take a piece of gaffer's tape, tape it down. That's it. Problem solved. Most pros are using gaff tape anyway when they're taping their wireless stuff. So that would be a great solution to any type of problem if you're really hanging your guitar super low. So that's a little tip. I love this color. What do you guys think of this acid green color? Is this not hot or what? This is one of our brand new colors. It's not a color we created. It's a Porsche color that you can get on their cars. It's what they would call a paint to sample option. But you can order a Porsche in this color. And what an amazing color. You put some black wheels on that car, some black accents. You got one sexy Porsche.
Next question is from Jeff. He's asking, are there alternative options for placement of the knobs on the Delos? It seems like the volume knob is a little too close to the bridge pickup.
Yeah, we can do custom controls. The reason why it's in that location is most players, prefer it in that spot. Not saying that, it's not something that, you don't want or whatever. But yeah, we can move that. That'd be a call-in option for my guys. So you can call in and have that moved. It's not a problem.
Ty Jacobs is asking.
Ty Jacobs! What's happening, man?
He's asking, how would you describe a candy finish versus a normal trans finish? I'm growing eager.
So that's a good question. So a traditional trans finish, they're amazing. You know, you guys have seen our finishes. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to, toot the paint shop's horn, but, we do an amazing job on finishes here. The candy finish just has a different level of depth with multiple colors going on. Our standard translucent finish, again, amazing. You're not going to have the multiple color palette going on. Candy finishes, I do. So Ty, if you think that's something cool where you're like, I want something Jeff worked on, cool. Zach's knocking shit over in the background over there. So yeah, if that's something you guys are into, I'm definitely into working on your guitars. I think I have like a very particular OCD eye where I like just nerd out on things, and I don't know, they come out different. I'll just say that. I know you can, Ty. I'd say any customer, if you can afford to go candy, you are going to get a more three-dimensional, multiple color looking finish than a traditional translucent finish.
Can I order a mixed paint between KRG and radiation green?
That's really not a thing because, KRG is actually, believe it or not, a semi-translucent color. It has to be sprayed over white for it to show up properly. And radiation green is a metallic, and that has to be sprayed over black. So there's really no such thing. What we could potentially do that could look really cool is spray KRG and then do a pearl coating over the top of it. That could look really cool. We've never done it. Don't hold me to it, but that could look really neat and get you kind of the look you're going for possibly.
Evan is asking, how long will acid green finish be available?
It actually gets discontinued when we end this live, so get your order in. No, it's a color we've added to our custom shop, man. So no plans on discontinuing it. We never add something to like get rid of it. You guys will be the, I guess the hatchet men and women. You'll decide if we're going to keep or get rid of something. I mean, if it's really popular, I would never get rid of something that's really popular. The only time we get rid of things, colors, options, or models, is if either they're no longer popular or things get eliminated in industry or something, like we're having trouble getting our body binding and we just had to discontinue it. So sometimes stuff like that can happen. Plus it also wasn't very popular, the real body binding.
Tyler is asking, are there natural binding options for the Osiris? Don't see it on the builder.
So the reason why you don't see that, Brandon, maybe you can zoom in. If you see here, it's really rounded, on this part, and this part over here is probably a better example actually. It's really rounded, and so because it's rounded and it doesn't have more of a straight edge, we don't have a tape line, a masking tape line where we can actually give you a natural finish. So what you could do if you want that body binding effect on the Osiris, the Zeus, the Delos, models like that have the standard rounded body, even the Solo, you could call in and say, hey, I want to do the body binding effect. What we're going to do is a non-rounded top. So it's going to be more like the Aries. So you're going to have more of a straight side and less of a round. And we can do that for you and accommodate those other finishes. It does make the build non-returnable, but we can do that for you.
Francis is asking, would it be possible to add an F-hole to a headless model for an additional cost?
No. Sorry, man.
Are there alternative colors for the Cole Roland signature?
There are not. We did talk to Cole originally and said, hey, you could pick up to 5 colors, and he just wanted white and black. So maybe shoot Cole a DM and say, hey, I'm loving your guitar. I wish you had more colors available. I think one of the colors I wanted to add was a gold color. Then there was a royal blue. I'm trying to remember what the last color was. Was it a pink or a red? I can't remember. But yeah, we did try to get Cole to allow more colors, and he chose just the 2 colors, which that's up to the artist. So we respect that. But maybe shooting him a message, Maybe Cole will be like, hey, that sounds good.
Matthew is asking, if I put in an order with Fishman pickups, do I purchase the pickups myself and give them to you for the build, or do you provide them?
So if you place an order on our website with the Fishman option, we're going to put the pickups in ourselves. We're going to provide them. That's the Fluence Moderns, and we use the ceramic in the bridge and the Alnico in the neck. If you wanted something different besides those, you could buy your own pickups, send them in, and we could use those. And the charge would be different for that. So if you did customer-provided pickups, that's $50. The Fishman active pickups by us, the ones we have here, that's a $200 charge. So that's up to you. You could do either or.
Adam is asking, is reverse monster burst going to be on the builder anytime soon?
I don't know. That's a really hard one to really show the different patterns and whatnot. Maybe someday.
Any spike in sales of the gold fret wire after the announcement?
I don't think so. And the reason for that is we did hike the price up quite a bit. And the reason for the price hike isn't for us to go, ha 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 ha, we want to make extra money. It's to keep the gold fret wire for the people that really want it. So if it's something you really want, and let's say you're spending $4,000 or $5,000 on a build, the last thing I want to do is run out of it. Not that I don't appreciate a $1,500 sale, but it doesn't make sense to me to say to sell a $1,500 guitar and I miss out on a $4,000 guitar because the guy wanted gold fret wire. So typically someone spending a lot more money on a build is going to be more willing to part with the more expensive charge. So no, I haven't seen an uptick in it, but it seems to have stayed the same, if that makes sense. And the last thing we wanted to do was a spike and then we're totally out of it and we're like, shit. I am going to hoard some myself for, like future Kiesel edition builds and stuff like that. Maybe Brandon Ewing, get him a build at some point in the future because Brandon's doesn't know what to do without gold fret wire in his life.
I think all of my builds, but one or two of my super early Kiesel builds have gold fret wire.
I know. Gold necklace, baby.
I don't know what to do.
I'm going to change the band name to Silver Necklace.
Stainless necklace. All right, we got a great question. Is it possible to get the A2 with the traditional jack placement?
So that's a good question. So what we did is, after I saw a video, I was like, okay, I checked it out, kind of looking at different positions. And I originally had the A2 with a more traditional jack location. And, the problem is being forward thinking, the traditional jack location is just that. It's traditional. It's not forward thinking. It's not, especially when you sit and play, it's extremely uncomfortable for most people, not for all, but for most people, especially in a classical style position, which a lot of people play that way. So could we put on an additional jack? Possibly. It would not be removing the existing rear jack. We're not going to be doing that. That's all new programming, and it is the right move for that model to have that there. So if we miss out on a couple people because they're afraid of where the jack is, that's okay. And it is funny for me to see internet experts that I've never tried it, but that's stupid. No, what's stupid is saying something stupid when you've never tried it. That's stupid. So anyway, could we do a side jack additional? Possibly. Of course, before we would do something like that, prepaid, no return, all sales final. Because, obviously if we're not thinking it needs to be there, then I don't want to be stuck with it if you want to return it. Mulling that one over. I'm not saying we will do it, but mulling that one over.
Nick is asking, what's the best neck pickup to go with an M12 SD bridge pickup?
That's a hard one. I can see the beryllium going really well with that, as well as I could even see the Empyrean going with it, and even the lithium. I mean, they can all really go with it. As far as output, they're all going to be fine. From the color of the sound, tonal properties, probably the beryllium might be the best, to be honest with you.
Is there a reason roasted necks and fingerboards are non-returnable?
It's just how it's been. We don't want to get someone building an instrument and then returning it, and people are like, I don't want to buy that because I've never tried a roasted neck. Roasted necks are still a relatively new thing, and new things can be scary for people. And the last thing I want to do is get stuck with a build that someone bought, and it's hard to resell because people are still not quite openly accepting it. It's like I said, it's still a new thing. You think back to 15 years ago, it was like, I can't think of anybody that did it 15 years ago. So I think it started becoming a thing about 10 years ago, more prevalent about 5 years ago, and very prevalent, 3 years ago? So we'll see what the future brings on that.
Next question is from Mark. He's asking, do you recommend spalted maple to be a natural finish or a translucent finish?
Definitely a natural. I feel like the best way that looks is paired with a mahogany body. If you want to put any coloring on it, I would say trans black burst, maybe a black burst. They look great with a 3-piece body layer, the black body layer between the body wood and the top. Some reds and browns and yellows can look cool if you're really set on having some color, but I would stay away from blues and purples and reds. Well, actually, red's okay. Blues and purples I would stay away from.
Any chance of getting a 37-inch multi-scale neck on other base models?
No plans to do that. No, we got the A2.
Is there physical space in the Type X to accommodate active pickups?
There is not space in the Type X.
What's the price on the white Aries?
I don't know. It's a customer's. Maybe he'll sell it to you. I can give you his personal information if you want it.
Daniel is asking, is there any way to have different pickups installed on in-stock guitars?
No, it's not something we're going to do. Sorry.
How does the Multiscale Trim compare to the Kiesel Hipshot Trim or Floyd Rose?
So from all the testing we've done, it seems like, and I don't know why this is, it seems like the Multiscale Trim stays in tune even better than the Kiesel Trim, which already stays in tune amazing. So the tuning stability is awesome. It feels great too. I think it might have something to do with the slant and the angle and where it's putting the pressure on the pivot point. But it's an amazing trem system.
I want to order my first bass. Which wood is the lightest to choose for the body?
Swamp Ash is going to be our lightest. Depending on what model, we also offer chambering options. You might want to chamber it and put a Swamp Ash top on it if you're really concerned about getting it down to the lightest weight possible.
Next question is from Isaac. He says, what's one instrument you've wanted to build but couldn't because of a lack of time, equipment, or material?
Definitely an SG. No, just kidding. Brandon's laughing because I don't like SGs. I never have. It's just something about that shape. It's just never been for me. Something I want to build. I don't know. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that I really want to build. I kind of get to do that every day. So there's nothing like driving me right now that's like, oh, I wish I could do this. But, I'd say maybe just building guitars for certain people would be cool. I got one. I'd love to build Shaquille O'Neal, a 2-scale size guitar for him. He's so damn big. He's got such big monster hands that, could you imagine him playing a regular guitar? It'd look tiny on him. We would need something to scale. So there you go. I would love to do that for Shaq.
Have you seen him holding a regular sized water bottle?
Yeah. It's so crazy, man.
It's so funny.
Even a basketball. It's like us holding like a freaking tennis ball, man. No, that'd be cool. I could just take a 6-string bass and hand it to him, put guitar pickups in it. Be about right. Probably have to use that 37-inch scale to accommodate. But no, that'd be a fun thing.
Ryan is asking, how does the summer racing schedule look like?
Oh man, it's jam packed. We have we did a back-to-back in Vegas, had a week off. We have a race this weekend local, then we have a back-to-back in Northern California. Then I think there's 2 weeks off. We have a local. Then we go to Nebraska for a back-to-back, or I guess not really a back-to-back. It's a 4-day weekend. It's Memorial. Come home, got some locals. Then we go to a back-to-back in Washington. And then a couple more races, and then we're at Nationals. That's it. I mean, it's jam-packed between now and Nationals. Guess who's driving with me now? Zach is driving the green machine with me. He's driving the Beast. And Zach did awesome in it. Our last event, the second day, Zach did really, really great in the car. So that was really cool to see. So excited to see, how the rest of the year shakes out. He's going for the chip.
Justin Lubers is asking, how much longer do neck throughs take to build compared to bolt-on?
What's up, Justin? They do take longer. How much longer? It's a hard thing to say. But if we were building a guitar and we were going as fast as we could without skipping any quality, you're going to add from it being a neck through, because with the bolt-on, I can start on a neck and the body at the same time. With a neck through, you're going to add close to 2 weeks because you don't have the ability to work on the neck and the body at the same time. So that's about what it adds. And the amount of time, like sanding and working around the neck and fret dressing and all that, it takes more time. We definitely don't charge enough extra for neck throughs. So it's something we're going to have to take a look at some point.
Nathan is asking, is a candy fade possible?
Yes, depending on what colors. So if you're to use like colors, then yes, like an aqua to blue, no problem. That type of thing. But we don't want to get, two polar opposites in there. That's going to be too hard, because what I don't want cross talk and then having mixing of colors where it just looks weird.
Got one, Zach? Can you do a mirror/chrome top similar to Joe Satriani?
So that's something we messed around with back in, maybe like 2013, and then we just kind of stopped. So we haven't tried in a long time, is the answer.
Will the K-Series ever go on the Builder?
I don't know about that. There's a lot of visual options on there that are hard to showcase on the Builder. So I don't know. Maybe.
Do you all have a color like Iceberg Blue?
I don't know what Iceberg Blue is, man. I'm sorry. I don't know. We have the colors on the Builder, and then if you want us to do a photo match or like a custom color, we do offer that. Best way to do that is if you guys are looking at like automotive colors, you go to a Pantone color chart and pick out a Pantone. We can do that type of stuff, no problem.
Got anything else, Zach? No? All right, this is going to be the last question. Can you recommend a Cali burst finish for an antique ash top on a walnut-bodied A2 bass?
Yes. Walnut body is what's going to throw me for a loop a little bit. Shoot, I don't know. Maybe an orange burst, Cali bursts. That would be an orange to black. I think would look really cool as a Cali with that walnut body. Maybe even throw a roasted fretboard on there, black inlays. That could look really cool. Walnut neck, and then do a matching, paint matched headstock. That could be really cool. So thanks for hanging out. That's all the time we have this week. So if I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry about that. Make sure you give my guys a call if you have questions I didn't get to, or save it for next week. We'll see you guys.